Hi, I'm Eric Mieni, and this is Breaking New Ground, the program that tells you how the Department of Human Settlements is restoring our people's dignity by providing them with quality homes. Cosmo City is a mixed-use, fully integrated, sustainable development here in Johannesburg, South Africa. It is designed to house people from different income groups in order to eradicate class prejudice. There are fully subsidized units here, partially subsidized ones, rental apartments, and bonded houses to be sold on the open market, making Cosmo City a home for low, middle, and upper income groups, thus fostering integration. Today, we take a look at how this community has developed over the years. Joining me here on Breaking New Ground is Mr. Stanley Mahlalela, who is Business Development Director at Basil Reed, the lead partner in Codevco, the company that developed Cosmo City. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Eric.
Just give us a bit of some history about Cosmo City. What was here when you first came, and how has it changed up to now?
Cosmo City is a greenfield development that measured up to 1,105 hectares in size. And the first residents of Cosmo City took occupation of their houses in November 2005.
So it's been 10 years since the first ones arrived.
Yes.
What's it like now?
People's life has improved a lot. The city of Johannesburg and the Gauteng Department of Human Settlement had to move people from what was called Zevenfontein informal settlement to formal integrated human settlement development like Cosmo City.
So would it be an idea for you and I to maybe see 3 or so of the highlights of the development here?
That will be a pleasure for us. We are happy to take you around 3 of the main infrastructures that we have in Cosmo City and that people are utilizing at the moment.
Yeah, well, let's do that then. Which part of Cosmo City is this?
This is Cosmo City Extension 2. It's a low-cost or free housing extension.
Right.
That's where you find your BNG houses.
That would be the school, you said, the first school to be built here.
That's Cosmo City High School 1. It's the first high school that we've had in Cosmo City ever since we started here.
How many schools do you envision to build, and what's that number based on?
In total, we've got 12 school sites, and currently we've got 9 schools that are up and running, including 1 private school which is run by Kuro Investment.
What else is around us here?
This is a community multipurpose center where you've got a community hall, you've got a community library, you've got a sports field, you've got municipal offices. We also have a skills center in this particular building, and we have a mobile clinic that is based here because currently, unfortunately, we don't have a formal clinic, public clinic. This is a new shopping complex that is being built.
Yeah.
We are anticipating that it should be open by March 2016.
I believe when you started, you expected to have 70,000 people here.
Yes.
Where's that number now? How many people live in Cosmo City?
Because of the illegal extensions that are taking place in Cosmo City, I will say that number might have tripled or even more.
Talk to me about the next phase, which for me is more interesting, about how you're building so that people can't build illegal extensions here in Cosmo City.
Malibongo Ridge is designed in such a way that you don't have a freestanding house in one stand. Houses are clustered in groups of 6 and 8, depending on the blocks.
Yeah.
The houses there will have 2 bedrooms up, and you've got your kitchen and open living space at the bottom and 2 rental rooms at the back. The infrastructure that we have there is designed to cater for that.
Right.
So people won't have an opportunity to do any illegal extensions.
I find it interesting that you chose to live in Cosmo City. What informed that decision?
Cosmo City is designed in such a way that if you walk out of your house, you cannot walk for 10 minutes before you get to a public open space.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it.
What have been the highlights for you as you watch this place grow?
The most memorable thing to me, it was moving, recall that this place used to belong to a right-winger. So one day we had to come and remove the flag and all those things. That was the most memorable thing.
Yeah, to say now this has moved to the new South Africa.
Yes.
Wow.
And also what is interesting is that you can, if you are walking or driving around the RTP extension or wherever Cosmo City, you'll come across different races of people in Cosmo City. I think that on its own, it shows you that yes, we've moved from the past, we are now in the new South Africa.
Well, Mr. Matlalela, thank you for joining us here on Breaking New Ground and for taking us around here.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Lele.
Hans van Tonner's father owned a portion of the land on which Cosmo City is built. Interestingly, some 10 years after his father sold that portion of land to the government, Hans still lives here.
My name is Hans. I stay in the Cosmo City development, and I'm very glad to say I'm very happy here. My father owned a piece of this land, and it was expropriated for the development. For my father worked quite a number of these people that are actually staying around me. I can even know them by name. There's Franz, Danger, Kiwit, Funky, etc. And they all worked on the farm, and this was in 2001 that I took them through to apply for housing. And incidentally, at that point, I saw, well, I'm an electrician, I wasn't earning all that much, so I decided to apply with them. And then, to my surprise, a few years later, I was actually allocated a house, even in the vicinity of all the farm workers as well. So we all ended up staying together. This is my kitchen. I built in a zinc. I've got put in an electrical installation, built in a shower, wash basin. I've got two small rooms. This area is actually the original house. Now here I have used the least amount of material that I could. There's basically only 4 walls that I built. I used the rear of the house as one of the walls, followed the line of the house, straight 2 walls, and then put an additional wall, 2 walls, making basically a very large room and what you could call a garage. And that's all. As you can see that I've actually got here a gym. And then you could call that my bedroom, that's my bed, and I've got my office, my desk and everything. So I'm pretty organized in this big space. In here, in the garage, I've got all my tools, and I've got one vehicle. And as you will notice, it's basically straight lines. Huh? One wall there, one wall here, and least material that I needed. I do all my cutting and welding and everything here. And even overall my vehicles, everything. So I'm happy here. Very, very nice to have a room designed for either a garage or a second bedroom or whatever.
This section of Cosmo City is where the bonded houses are. People who live here are in the middle to upper income bracket. Monosi and her husband bought their house here in 2007.
I'm Lizzie Monosi Tsoka. I grew up in the former Bophuthatswana. I moved to Joburg in 1997. I've moved to Cosmo City because I wanted to start a new life, starting a family, like staying with my kids. It was very exciting for the first time to move in your own house. My kids were very happy and they liked the place. When I moved here, I think it was only 3 or 4 houses around me. There were no tar roads, there were nothing. Now we've got like tar road everywhere. We've got shops around here, we've got malls, we've got more schools. It has developed in a very short space of time. Living in Cosmo City for me has just made me feel very, very happy because I'm like in the heart of Joburg. I can go everywhere at any time. For me to move in Cosmo City, my life has changed completely because now I'm running my own business. I've started to operate a small spaza shop because there was no spaza shop around here. I was running this tuck shop and picking up the kids, school kids as well. So it was very challenging for me because during the day I have to leave the shop and go pick up the kids. So I decided to rent out the tuck shop and focus on the scholar transport. I leave my house at 20 to 6 every day. Make sure you have a motor. You start at the garage, you check my vehicle, you tell petrol, and then you start at extension 6. You collect the extension 6, extension 2. And then your second load will be extension 10 and extension 7. I have to see that my drivers are here to get the cars, to help me to pick up the kids, take them to school. The school starts at 20 to 8. So we must make sure every day by 7:30 the kids are all at school. I'm interacting with the kids mostly. And I ended up making friends with their parents because most of the time the kids, they're telling them about Mama Lesedi this, Mama Lesedi that. Sometimes the kids are feeling sick, the parents are not around, they will phone me to go and pick up the kids from school, take them back to home or maybe to the doctor. So it's not like just transporting the kids. I've built that relationship as well with the parents and the kids. I'll stay in Cosmo City for the rest of my life. I don't see myself moving somewhere because I've been here for 8 years now. I was never robbed. I'm running a business. I was never robbed. I've got cars that are sleeping in my yard. I've never had a problem with anything. So I feel secured in Cosmo City.
Asnath Try-Me Machaba is one of those people whose lives were transformed by Cosmo City. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Let's start by what you were doing when you first arrived in Cosmo City. How did you make a living?
I was selling opposite Basil Reed. There was a stable, a horse stable, which I was given by Basil Reed. And then it was my tuck shop.
So you basically started as a street vendor, if I can put it that way. And how has your life changed since then? You moved from that to what?
I moved from a tuck shop to a fast food shop.
Now, from what I gather, you are now in construction, am I correct?
Yes.
How did that come about?
I wanted to see myself as a big person, not a small person in business. Then I suddenly decided to join construction.
Yeah.
I met a company called Trust Grow. They started me with, they were like tasting me. They gave me only one house to build. Then I completed that house. I've started off plan. I've started it on the ground.
Yeah.
Then after completing one house, then they just said, this is the right person whom we can work with. As I can tell you now that the house I'm staying in here, then this is my first house. The first house that I built.
Okay.
Then after I built more and more and more here in Cosmo City.
So you've been now making your living of construction in Cosmo City?
Not only in Cosmo City.
Yeah.
No, I'm around in Cosmo, Diepsloot, Blobosrand, Four Ways, Krugersdorp, and Rustenburg as well.
But you started off in Cosmo City?
I started off in Cosmo City, yes.
So in a sense, Cosmo City changed your life?
Exactly.
From
0 to 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me about your life here in Cosmo City. How would you describe it?
My life here in Cosmo City is a very good life, as Cosmo City is a place that, of all nations. It caters black, white, Indian and colored.
And people live well together.
Exactly.
And they're happy as neighbors.
They are happy as neighbors and we love each other. There's no crime, nothing in Cosmo City.
Fantastic.
That's why everyone likes to be in Cosmo City.
Yeah.
And we got malls all around, yeah?
How many units have you built here in Cosmo City?
14.
Wow. Of the work you've done here, what are you most proud of?
As a woman in construction, I am very proud of pointing or showing people the houses that I built 2007, 2008, 2009, which all of them, there's no one house that got a leak or the paint is peeling, nothing, zilch.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the thing that makes me proud.
Thank you so much for coming on Breaking Your Ground.
Ayoba.
Ayoba. Cosmo City is not just a residential area. It also has commercial spaces with thriving businesses. After the break, we go to Cosmo Mall. Don't go away. Next, we go to a block of apartments here in Cosmo City where tenants pay very affordable rent. Hlanganani Gardens is home to many, including Teledi.
My name is Teledi Tuse. Originally, I'm from Limpopo. I lived in Branston, Branston Extension 3. I've been actually staying that site ever since I moved up to Joburg. And it was a very quiet complex, and for me, I'm a people's person. I like, spending time with my friends, inviting them over to the house. And it was just not for me, because it's one of those complexes that you only see people only when they drive in and out of the complex. That's when you get to actually see people. So everyone is like actually minding his own business, So for me, it was just not doing it. Then I decided, okay, you know what? I'm a gassy person. I want to come and live here in Cosmo City. Then I moved here. When I drove into Cosmo for the very first time, what I liked about this entire area is the fact that there's lots of people. You like walk down the street, you meet 10 people or so. Every corner there is like a spaza shop. There is a kind of life that actually I've always wanted, unlike where I'm coming from, So that was very fascinating for me. Like I said, I like spending time with people, I like seeing people. And it was just okay for me. Then I decided, you know what, this is actually it. It's a very nice complex. If you walk around the complex, there's a clubhouse there. There's like sort of a park for kids to play. I've got a son, actually. It's one of the things that I actually liked. The fact that there's a place where kids can just get together and play and be safe at the same time, because security is very important. I feel very satisfied that I've moved to Cosmo City. I love this area. Just to mention that I've actually bought a house by Cosmo Creek. I could have bought a house in Vendale or Randburg or wherever, but because of lifestyle or the difference in lifestyles and what I want, I've decided to buy a property here in Cosmo City. My plan initially when I got the house was to actually rent it out and stay here, continue staying here. You understand? But I think I'm still sticking to that. But I'll decide. As soon as the house is ready, I will decide whether I'm going to rent it out or I'm just going to continue staying here. But my initial plan was just to rent it out and continue staying here. The main issue, which I think is the main problem that I've picked up, is the drain system. If you go down the road, next to the school there, the Meridian School, there's a major, big issue with the drainage there. It's always, not even a week goes by without that, being blocked or like having some water flowing on the road and stuff like that. I think, obviously, we understand why, because of the number of population. I mean, we've got a whole lot of people staying in the back rooms and stuff, so obviously it's overcrowded. So I think to make it better, we should actually start by looking into that.
The Johannesburg Housing Company, JHC for short, is a pioneer in social housing development, and it is responsible for rental units here in Cosmo City. Mr. Karabelo Poe is revenue manager at JHC. Let's hear what he has to say about the company. Mr. Poe, so are you enjoying your work at the JHC?
I enjoyed thoroughly.
Yeah.
We do a lot of good.
Yeah.
And it's fulfilling.
So your involvement with Cosmo City would be primarily through Hlanganani Garden?
When Cosmo City was being developed, we got approached, given our skill and expertise in the inner city as well as in social housing, to develop rental units in the Cosmo City.
Are there more units coming? Is Hlanganani the be-all and end-all of it?
I think if a particular site becomes available, we would certainly be keen to get involved.
Get involved, because it's been such a good project.
Because it has been a successful project.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on to Breaking New Ground and giving us what you know around it.
Galawa.
As the Cosmo City population grew, it created a number of business opportunities. There are several supermarkets here and a few retailers in different sections. Cosmo Mall is the latest and biggest addition to this business development. It is located strategically on Malibongwe Drive, which leads into Cosmo City. Now, Miss Ayanda Mauka is the marketing manager here at Cosmo Mall. Let's hear what she has to say about it. What was the idea behind this mall?
The Painter Group wanted to create a community environment, a mall that the community could come to and bring their entire family, and that caters to all their needs.
How is that going, by the way?
It's going quite well. I mean, we all try to bring a all-round experience for the Cosmo community, and by providing entertainment, a safe environment, but also providing activations and entertainment on a constant basis.
Tell me about the architectural choices made to build this.
Well, again, we wanted to build a world-class mall for the Cosmo community. Again, a design that was strong and that was a statement and difference to other malls. They also wanted to make sure that natural light always flows into the mall, while opening up a lot of spaces again into the mall, so easy access for the community to walk through. But we also ensured that the rank was also there, so that commuters could come into the mall and have an easy flow from one side of the mall to the other.
How long has it been since the mall's been here now?
Development started in about 2012, and then the mall officially opened in August 2014. So it took about 2 years.
How did you choose the brands that I see here? You don't have to necessarily mention them, but when you chose the brand, what was the thinking behind it?
We were very particular about the tenants we allowed into the mall, simply because we wanted to cater to all the needs of the community. We've also made sure that we got community tenants as well to come into the mall. We wanted to contribute to the economy of Cosmo City as well.
How are the stores that Cosmo City dwellers specifically own here, how are they doing?
They're doing pretty well, I think, because they obviously understand the market that they serve better and they understand their needs.
Are there any specific plans for the future in terms of the mall, or things you plan to add in the near future?
What we're currently doing now, obviously to allow easy and safe access to the commuters of Cosmo City, is to build a bridge over the Malibongwe Highway, just so that they have a safe passage from the residential area into Cosmo Mall. We've also bought the land just behind Cosmo City. It's about 35,000 square meters, and that is basically for future development. So as Cosmo grows, so will the mall.
Well, Ayanda Mauka, good luck with the mall and your new job here, and thank you so much for joining us on BNG.
It was our pleasure to host you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cosmo City is proof that South Africans of different backgrounds, varied economic statuses, and myriad races and beliefs can come together, live harmoniously, and thrive as a community. Thank you so much for watching Breaking New Ground. Until the next edition, goodbye.